on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Conversations with Jacob. Today we got a good episode for you. We're talking with Erik Dobell, but before we get to him, was unplugging the podcast here. You can find us on Facebook, Conversations with Jacob on YT, and Twitter is CWJ Podcast. Podcast and platforms is Spotify. We're on I think it's iHeartRadio, TuneIn, just about 20 different sites. It's hard to keep up with them. We got merchandise, mugs, hoodies, T-shirts, you name it, then we might have it. If you got a show idea, guest suggestion, you can email it to conversationswithjacob@gmail.com, and our website is conversationswithjacobpodcast.weebly.com. You can find past guests, upcoming guests, and the playlist for our podcast. And joining me this week is Erik Dobell, and he does magic, he reads your mind, and he also has a show in Gatlinburg called Impossibilities. So welcome to the podcast, Erik.
Well, thank you for having me. I hope I'm looking in the right spot. I'm looking at the little green dot on my computer screen. So
you're fine.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm actually here at the Iris Theater where we do Impossibilities in Gatlinburg.
So do you got a show tonight?
I do, yes.
All right.
Show tonight at 8 o'clock. We're right in the middle of the summer season right now.
All right. Oh, which I'll try not to keep you as long as you got a show tonight. So I guess the first question would be, and how did you get into magic?
So when I was a kid, I wanted to be a professional wrestler. And I was about 19 or 20 years old. And I realized that I wasn't going to get any taller. I'm about 5'5". So professional wrestling was not in the cards for me. So I didn't know what to do. Obviously, I wasn't good at making decisions. So I wasn't sure what to do at that point. And I was doing college courses theater courses in college. And one day, just by chance, I was at the mall in Ithaca, New York, and there was a guy at a kiosk selling little magic tricks. And I had never seen magic performed live before. It was the first time I'd seen it on TV, but TV magic's like whatever. This is the first time I saw it in person. And I just was enamored by it. I bought a few tricks. I went home. I learned how to do them. And then I just completely fell in love with magic. And then funny thing about that guy, though, is I went back a week later, same mall, same guy, same kiosk. The same guy was selling from the same booth sunglasses. So the first magician I ever saw was not a magician. It was just a guy selling overstock. And the day that I met him, the overstock happened to be magic tricks. So I could have been a sunglasses salesman.
Yeah. Now, do you got a favorite trick that you like to perform?
That I like to perform? Yeah, I got a few of them. It's a thing I do with something called a magic square that I've been doing in every show for 15 years, I guess.
Yeah.
I have another thing where I have somebody think of an icon and I do something kind of special with that. And, I don't want to say too much because I want people to come to the show and be surprised.
There you go. Yeah. Now,
I do have favorite routines that I do.
All right, there you go. Now, when you do a trick, because I know that you do like the mind reading stuff. What do you do if like a trick like that kind of goes wrong?
Oh, what happens? It just goes wrong. It actually happens. It doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen, and you just kind of laugh it off and keep going. And the audience is pretty forgiving. You try to make sure that the stuff you finish the show with, you're not going to miss. You don't want the last thing you do to be messed up, and then that's the last thing they remember. But yeah, I mean, it just happens sometimes. We all mess up. Singers hit wrong notes.
Yeah, that's true.
Sometimes.
So with your show in Gatlinburg, and how did that come about?
So that's a funny story too. So show business is pretty random. And I teamed up with my business partner and we did this show. Originally, this was a 2-person show, and we did it in North Carolina. We toured it for 2 years in North Carolina. And then he brought up the possibility of coming to a town like Gatlinburg. I did not know towns like this existed. I did not know this was an option, or else I would have done this 20 years ago. But he said we should look into one of these towns. And but we hadn't really seriously talked about it. It was like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea, but we hadn't really, there was a lot of stuff going on. We didn't really sit down and like discuss it further than just maybe we should think about this. So I was visiting some family in Asheville, North Carolina one day, and I heard there was a mentalist show here at the Space Needle. I said, okay, there aren't a lot of mentalists around. Gatlinburg's pretty close. I'm going to see what this guy's all about. I'm not even sure how I found out about the show, now that I think about it. But anyways, I called for tickets, and the guy on the other end of the phone says, well, that show's not here anymore. He left last week. I said, oh, okay. Do they want another show? And then just like that, we're meeting with the owners of the Space Needle, and then we opened in March of 2016, and we've been here 7 years. So that's how that happened.
So did you ever thought that the show would get as big as it is now?
No, I didn't. Yeah, we're here 7 years now. We are the longest running show in this theater, so by default, the most successful. But no, I was actually ready to quit when this all happened. I was that's the thing me and Houdini had in common. We were both ready to give up, and then all of a sudden, it happened. But no, I still wake up some mornings and I'm like, I can't believe I get to do this. It's a wild feeling. Yeah.
So what's the difference between doing magic and being a mentalist?
Well, mentalism is a branch of magic. And the difference is, it's like the difference, I'm trying to think how to describe this. It's like a magician will make a coin vanish or cut a woman in half and hopefully put her back together again. Mentalism deals more with the mind. So it's like reading somebody's mind, predicting the future, things like that. So it's a branch of magic that deals with a subgenre of it.
Oh, all right, yeah. So the next question here would be, and why do you think that most people do magic with cards and coins? Maybe you do cards and coins as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's a good question. Coins, I don't know. I do some stuff with coins, not a lot. Cards are one of those things where I think it's just because you can do a lot with them.
Yeah.
Because of the I might be the wrong magician to ask. There might be a much better answer to this, but I think that has a lot to do with it because there's so much you can do with cards because of what they are, how they fit in your hand, how there's 52 of them. They're all different, but they're all the same also. And there's all these different things you can do with them as far as sleights and marking and stacking. You can tell stories with cards. You can make cards. You can just do a lot with cards. And then, like one bit of advice I heard recently that I thought was a good idea was, when you go through old magic books, look at a card trick and think, what if I don't do this with cards? Basically to get away from cards. Because, if you're not careful, your whole act could be playing cards. And I think that's the reason why there's so much material out there and there's so much you can do with them. Coin magic, I don't know. I find coin magic to be very difficult and a lot more difficult than card magic because the coins are just solid. Like what you got, like cards, you can move, but like coins are just, that's what they are. They're just these solid objects. Might have something to do with just how handy they are. You can just, everybody's got, or used to have change on them all the time. But again, that's kind of me just riffing off the top of my head. I don't really know. I don't really have a good answer for that. But,
yeah, sure.
That's just my guess. Yeah.
Now, with your show in Gatlinburg, do you get like a big turnout for every show?
Almost every show. Yeah, we are 89 seats. So a good turnout for us can be 30 people. But it depends on time of the year. Like right now we're pretty busy because we're right in the middle of summer. Once fall hits, we're gonna get quite a bit slower. So we're open all year here in town. Gatlinburg's unique like that, I think, because I don't think a lot of tourist destinations like this are open all year, but Gatlinburg is. And because we are also a smaller theater, we don't need a whole lot of people to do the show. So we do run all year, and the number of people depends, entirely on how busy it is, basically. I know it's an obvious answer, but yeah, we're not packing out every night, but we're doing good.
All right. Now you mentioned that you started out and has a 2-person show. So what kind of happened between then and now?
Have you seen the movie Showgirls?
Don't think I have.
I pushed him downstairs. No, I'm kidding. He's actually still involved. Yeah, he does. Right. Yeah, it's still very much a 2-man business. We complement each other well. There's a lot of stuff I can do that he can't do, and vice versa. So he's still very heavily involved. It's still a 2-person operation. But he's not in the show simply because he actually did get hurt. He has another business, several other businesses, and he fell basically, and he hurt his leg really bad. And it's just one of those things where like it's difficult for him to be on stage like he used to be. So, we're still holding out hope that he might come back, at least for like a short run. But as it is right now, it's just me right now.
All right, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now,
all that is. Yeah.
All right. Now, do you just perform at that theater, or do you go around to other places and perform?
Basically, I'm here all the time, but I do shows once in a while at other places. Used to be a little more often before COVID hit. COVID really did cut the legs off of a lot of stuff. But yeah, I mean, there's people that come into town sometimes, and they do like a corporate event, and they'll bring me in, and I'll go do like the dinner or something. I'll do magic for them. I do private events sometimes. There's cabins here. Sometimes I'll go to people's cabins, and occasionally I'll go like outside the city to like other theaters for like 1 or 2 shows. But with that being said, my primary location is here. I prefer everybody come here. And even when I go and do shows like in other places, it's partly to promote here and to let people know that I'm here. So this is like the main focus.
All right.
But,
now,
I am available for hire, though, if other people want me to come out and see them.
All right. Speaking of COVID, I know that kind of slowed down your I guess your show. Did it slow down your business?
Tennessee was weird. You're in North Carolina, right?
No, I'm in Virginia.
Virginia.
Yeah.
Did we meet at Salem?
I think so, yeah. Cause I saw you at the Freedom Fair, yeah.
I couldn't remember where we met. I actually forgot it was you till I got that friend request. I was like, oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
I think it was Salem we met. So I don't know what it was like there. I talked to other friends. It was just like a different world. But there was I got to be careful how to phrase this because I don't want to get political. But
that's all right.
But we didn't really shut down Tennessee. We did half capacity. Like Impossibilities did half capacity in masks. We were shut down for like I think the month or 2 months, like the initial run, when they shut everything down, and then we opened back up and things got crazy here in town. We were one of the only locations open, so it was really busy. So no, we didn't slow down. In fact, we were in some ways busier because we were half capacity, so we were needing to rush around more to, meet with the demand of that. But so no, it's kind of a weird thing to talk about because we weren't as affected by it as other people. So yeah.
All right. For people that wants to come to see Impossibilities, and what can they expect?
Yeah, well, it's an interactive show. So that's how I tell people what it is, actually. That's how a lot of the reviews were saying that when we first opened, was talking about how interactive it was. So we started telling people that it's an interactive comedy, magic, and mind reading show. I bring people up on stage for almost everything that I do. And that's what you can expect. It's a good time. We try to have fun. I know mind reading, sometimes people think, oh, they think it's going to be like spooky. I'm not spooky. I'm having fun. We're having a good time here. It's a family show. I know it's cliche, but we literally get all ages here. We get grandparents. Grandparents like it. They bring the grandkids. You know, the families come, the nuclear families and all that. So it is all ages and an interactive, family friendly, and it's a good time. It's funny, but don't take my word for it. If you look us up on TripAdvisor, Google reviews, I don't know if Facebook does reviews anymore, but if they do, we got reviews up there too. You'll see other people, saying what I'm saying much more eloquently, and also it's not coming from me. So there's reason to believe it.
Absolutely. Now, how can people find out about your show and ticket details?
Yes, you can find us at iristheater.com. Iris like the flower, theater spelled ER.com. That is our main website that has videos and information about the show. It also has the link where you can click for the tickets. But other than that, follow us on social media. You can find us we're basically on everything. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at least currently, YouTube. We are on TikTok, and don't worry, you will not see me dancing. And we just signed up for Threads, so we're on that thing now. Basically, we're on all the sites. If you want to know, if we're on any social media site, if you want to follow us, you just type in Impossibilities Magic Show Gatlinburg, and we should pop up. There'll be a picture of me doing this.
There you go.
You'll know it's me.
All right, and would you get a lot of shows happening? And what is your show times?
All of our show times are at 8:00. Currently, at the time of this recording, they're all 8 p.m. Right now in July, we're doing shows Tuesday through Saturday. And then, when the fall hits, we go to 3 days a week. And then when Christmas is here, we do 5 to 7 days. So, but right now it's 5 nights a week, Tuesday through Saturday. But again, that's at the time of this recording in beginning of July. So if you want the up-to-date, I got the hiccups. If you want the up-to-date dates, just look at our website, iristheater.com. Just act like you're buying tickets, and then you'll get the schedule.
Absolutely. And like I said, I guess a few minutes ago, I was outside before about the Sadom Fair. That's been, I don't know how long that's been, but I saw
a long time ago now. That was before we opened here, so it must have been 8 or 9 years ago.
Yeah, it probably was. Yeah, a long time. Yeah. Like I said, I saw it perform there, and I was like, you know what, this guy's pretty dang on good.
Oh, thank you.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. And then when I did this podcast, I see, I got to reach out to Erik, and get him on the podcast for like a little chat.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Let's see. Let's see if there's any more questions here that I can ask. Now with the mind reading, I ain't gonna ask how you do that because I'm sure that's a secret. With the mind reading, with the audience, and do you just pick anybody, or do you just pick someone, or I guess out of random?
I get asked that a lot. So I pick people. I don't pick just anybody, because there's some things I can do with kids that I can't do with adults, and some things I can do with adults that I can't do with kids. Sometimes people are drunk. We don't get a lot of that. I don't want to say we don't get a lot of it. This is a family show, but we do get it. We're in Gatlinburg, Moonshine, all that other stuff. So I do pick people from the audience. I have to choose who I bring up. I used to think I was pretty good at it, but I don't know. I just bring people up that look like they can do things.
There you go.
I'm looking for certain things, but I don't think I really know.
There you go. Yeah. Now with Gatlinburg, do you think that your show is like the #1 show that people come and see?
Well, we're the only show in Gatlinburg right now.
There you go. Yeah.
So I think we got that spot secured. So if you've never been to Gatlinburg, there's Gatlinburg and then there's Pigeon Forge, and people kind of conflate them as the same thing, and they kind of sort of are, but they're two different towns. There's a road between them, There's one, two, three, four magic shows in town in Pigeon Forge now. Two of them just opened, I think, last week. Actually, they're like brand new. And then we're literally the only show in Gatlinburg. So yeah, we're the number one show in town.
Well, yeah, makes sense then. Yeah.
But honest to goodness, I don't know how we rate against the other shows in Pigeon Forge. I guess we must do pretty good because people find us, and TripAdvisor is one of the main places they find us. But I don't really know how to even check that.
So you're saying that you're the only show in town?
Yes.
All right. Well, it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I still haven't figured out if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I don't know. Maybe you ran all the other shows away.
Yeah. Well, COVID didn't help.
Oh yeah. There you go. Let's see. People can find you on Facebook as well.
Oh yeah. Like I said, Just Impossibilities Magic Show Gatlinburg, and we'll pop up.
All right. Yeah.
Make sure you type in Gatlinburg because somebody stole the name of our show in the UK. So you don't want to like that one on accident.
All right. All right. All right. So
it is what it is.
All right. So they can find you on Facebook, the website, and they can get tickets that way.
Yep, on the website, iristheater.com. Yeah.
All
so
right.
when you go there, the main page, you'll have like right on the front page, it says click here to buy tickets. You just click on that, it takes you right to our ticketing software.
All righty then. All right, Eric, as I've done asked all the questions that I've had written down. Without that being said, do you get any closing thoughts you want to say?
Oh, closing thoughts. Nope.
Yeah. There you go.
I don't know if I have any closing thoughts. Just, go ahead and you can also call, by the way, if you don't feel comfortable getting tickets online, 888-482-3330. You'll actually be speaking to me directly. We're a small business. So, I'm the one that answers the phone. I'm the one that checks in at the door, and I'm the one that does the show. But yeah, if you haven't been to Gatlinburg before, you should come check it out. It's a really good time. It's a really good area. You can check out Dollywood, check out Impossibilities. We're at the Gatlinburg Space Needle. It's a 400-foot observation deck right in the center of town, and it is beautiful here. This is the most beautiful place I've ever lived. So yeah, come check us out.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Eric, I want to thank you for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me.
Oh, yeah, of course. All right. And that does it this week for Conversations with Jacob. Tune in next week for another interview. Until then, God bless, and we'll catch you in the next one.